think about that for a second. I was like, Blanchard. That went well. And I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Amanda Beckett.
So there you go, Amanda Beckett.
Yes.
And this is Friday Night Wives. And as always, Friday Night Wives is brought to you by Michael A. Delosier of Aligned Insurance and Auto Owners Insurance. And he is the handsome bald guy that you should see at the bottom of the screen on either side. I don't know what side he's on, but I know that Josh is going to put his picture somewhere fantastic. And, yeah, D-Lo, he's just the finest. So if you need to insure anything, call Delosier. D-Lo. Go D-Lo. So, today we're at Lost Towers. And you have traveled. See, I'm thinking that you've traveled far and wide.
No.
But you didn't.
No, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Because even though they coach at Cedar Bluff, they live in Southside. So let me triangulate your location just a little bit more.
Yeah.
You want to give your exact address to the stalkers, or is that we're going to hold off on that until later?
Yeah, we'll hold off.
We'll hold off on that.
Yeah.
So Coach Beckett, obviously, unless, did he take your last name? Did you keep your last name?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
It was the thing that I really, like, my dad was very, like, okay. When I got married, my dad was like, so you're going to stay at Blanchard, right? And I was like, I don't think that go over very well.
No, I've never had a problem with that. I'm very much okay with taking the last name, so, yeah.
I mean, you know.
I even dropped my maiden name. I just used my middle name.
You use your middle name, too?
Yes.
I do, too. What's your middle name?
Lee.
I was waiting when you said Dawn. I was going to be like, oh, my God, soulmates.
Dawn?
Amanda Dawn. I'm Tara Dawn. My mother was very creative. She named me right after my aunt.
I wish mine was Lynn, is what I always told my mom. I'd rather be Amanda Lynn than Amanda Lee, but, you know.
I was almost Lauren Elizabeth. Could you imagine? I can't. I was also almost Bo. Like, not Bo Starkey.
Yeah.
They didn't know Bo Starkey at that time. I was almost Bo Jackson. I was
Wow.
almost Bo Jackson Blanchard. So, how fun would that have been? Like, I'm Bo Blanchard, coming at you live from Bo Starkey's kitchen. You know. It would have been a thing.
Oh my gosh.
It's a whole thing. So, we're cool with Coach's last name. How did you guys meet?
Okay.
She said, oh.
Mutual friends.
Okay.
We were both living in Silicaga in Talladega County. As all coaches, they're everywhere, you know, move around. So they introduced us, but we started talking online.
Like AIM?
Like, what is AIM?
Oh my gosh. You know, the AIM, like the messenger, where you get to put your away message.
No, let me
like
tell you.
Broody.
MySpace.
MySpace. Okay.
Before Facebook.
I was there for that.
Dial up and everything.
I wasn't supposed to have MySpace.
Well, we were very grown.
We were grown up.
So anyway, so somebody introduced us, but we started talking through there. And he was interesting because he was interested in me, you know, and like asking me like normal questions and everything. And
no, like, what's your shoe size?
yes, not ASL.
Can you send me pictures of your feet?
Exactly. So we talked for a little while, and I thought about meeting up with him because he lived right where I lived. And I said, well, he sent me a picture. Well, it was probably a picture that a guy thinks is a good picture, but a girl looks at it as like, so he was in the picture with Bo Jackson.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
I know you made the reference to that. Yeah. So.
Hello, namesake.
And that's really cool and all, but he had on this, I don't know, weird straw hat or something. I don't know. And he just didn't, it was not the best picture of him.
Right.
And I'm sure he just thought it was a cool picture because he was with Bo Jackson. So I was like, I'm not really sure about that.
But think about the credit that he's giving you for, like, he's like, she's going to know who Bo Jackson is and think I'm awesome.
Okay.
So he was testing you too.
Maybe so. And so I put him off for about 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And he kept on and on and on. And then I guess it was through Messenger, like, you're right. My brain's getting, I'm old. Anyway, he started asking me all these questions. And there was about 20 questions. And it was just random stuff. Your favorite color, your political blah, your whatever, this, that, and other. Mm. And I was like, wow, he's interested. He probably wasn't. He just knew how to pick up girls. But, so I said I'd meet him. And so we were supposed to meet at the walking track after I got off work. And he didn't show up. And I called. And he didn't answer, and he didn't answer, and he didn't answer. And I'm like, well, so 2 hours later, he finally calls, and he had went home and fell asleep. So he was late, but I stayed, and we walked a couple of laps, and
it was the picture of Bo Jackson
that was it.
Kept you there, wasn't it?
That was it.
Because let me tell you, that whole, I went home and I fell asleep. It's not going to cut it.
No, it doesn't.
It's not going to cut it. Did you at least give him grief?
Yes.
Were
I
you
still
like-
do to this day.
Were you like, oh my gosh, like I totally would have stayed longer except for, I spent 2 hours, but because you were taking a nap.
You're lucky I answered the phone and you begged, and I said, okay, I'll stay. But, no, it was worth it though.
Okay.
But that set the tone for the rest of our life, which is we're late everywhere. If the Becketts are coming, you need to tell them an hour beforehand time that you want them to be there.
I like that because it depends on the day. Because I'm either the person that is like, hey, is everybody coming? Because I've been here for like 30 minutes and no one's here. Like I'm sitting in your driveway by myself. Or I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We don't even have to apologize anymore. People know.
They
It's
just
the
know.
Becketts. Yeah, they're not going to be here on time.
Well, I mean, no.
We never see the previews before a movie. We just get there right in time for the movie to start. So.
But here's the thing. Are you really missing a whole lot?
No,
You're not.
no. And he's taught me that, actually, because I was a lot more...
Punctual?
Yes, and just like, gotta do this just right. And he has relaxed me a whole lot on that.
So you enjoy life more.
Yeah, I do, really.
Thanks, Coach.
It's more comfortable.
I know that, like, we're not. You don't call him Coach. What do you
No.
call him?
Alan.
Alan. What his mother calls him, Alan?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, y'all don't even do like the babe.
Oh,
or,
yeah,
like,
baby.
Peaches.
I call him baby, I think. But I also call my children honey and baby, too.
I don't know where Peaches came from. No one's ever called me Peaches before. Don't call me Peaches.
Definitely not Boo. We're not a Boo.
Oh, no, or Bae.
No.
I'm too old for Bae.
Yeah, I'm too old for that, too. But I do say baby. But mostly Alan. If I'm talking to somebody else about him, I say Alan.
Alan.
Yeah.
See, I've gotten in a habit, like, I call mine Pacey, because he looks like Pacey Witter from Dawson's Creek. And then I have to give it to Josh. He dredged up the most terrible picture of Pace that's ever been taken before. And then he took a picture of Joshua Jackson and he put them together. And he's like, I don't see it. And I was like, well, duh, obviously, like, that's not a good picture. So now I had to dredge up pictures. And now, like, it's like a whole thing. So now even people who don't really know him call him Pace. And I call him Pace.
That's fun.
And everyone kind of responds to it now. So he's Pacey.
That's fun.
And and he hates it, which makes it even more fun to me because my love is like in a sadism sort of way.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm just mean. Like if I'm not mean to you, it's because I don't like you.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding.
She hasn't been mean to me yet.
I'm kidding. I will be.
Okay.
I'm just like,
Promise?
it's one of the, I'm either like super nice to you or I'm like super mean. Like if it's that like moderate in between, like once I get to know you, it's scary. It's a scary thing. Like you're like, oh my God, okay. Okay.
No, it doesn't scare me.
Good. I like you.
I
We're
can
gonna make
handle it.
friends. We're gonna make friends. I feel like I found another soulmate because you guys know Laura Ellen was like I met Laura Ellen, Etowah's coach, and we instantly bonded right over there. And now I'm kind of like, you know what, Laura Ellen, watch out!
Uh-oh.
I have another friend.
I'm moving in.
She's moving in, and she lives closer. Well,
Yes.
no, she doesn't live closer to me, but she goes to games closer to where I live.
Yes. We're going to get together after the games.
We are at the Waffle House.
We do like to do that.
That's a thing.
Yes.
Still?
Sometimes, yeah.
I like that.
Definitely.
If
he wins. If he doesn't, we're going straight up.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and then it's not a good weekend.
How long have you guys been at Cedar Bluff?
This is his first year.
Oh, it's first year.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so welcome.
Thank you.
Very
But we are
welcome.
familiar with Cedar Bluff because he first started his head coach job at Collinsville.
Okay.
He was there for 6 or 7 years. I can't remember exactly.
Oh, so you know. Like, you know Cedar
Yeah,
Bluff.
like I was telling Bo, I said, I hated Cedar Bluff because they always beat us. I'm sorry. But now,
Now it's...
as soon as
Come
Alan
for you.
said, Cedar Bluff is open, I said, you take it.
Take it.
Go for it. I want it.
I mean...
They're a great place. It's a great place. They love their football.
They do? And I will say this, the stadium, I feel like it's the same stadium that it was when I was in high school. I went to Center for like the front half and I graduated from Piedmont. But I remember going to Cedar Bluff games. I had friends at Cedar Bluff. I remember like the rock stands.
Yes. The atmosphere is just, they love their school. They love their team. And Allen has been nothing but welcomed. I mean, everything has just been really good. And that has not been everywhere. So, I mean, it's been great.
It's hard to break in places. Cedar Bluff is a place that has so much pride that they still do like Letterman jackets. Like it's still a big deal to get like your patches and things there. Or I mean, it was 10 years ago.
10 years. Don't ask me.
12 years ago. 12 years ago, if I'm being honest.
Well, and you know he's from Center. He went to Center.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and his mom still lives there. His dad coached there. So yeah. So they know him there, and he knows a lot of people.
See, I have gotten out of the habit of putting everyone back in Center because, like, I lived away for a while, and now it's like all roads are leading back to Big CC.
It does.
Are you loving it? Like, I'm disappointed though that you guys didn't move. That you kept your.
We've never moved. I mean, like we've always been in Gadsden. I said, like that's terrible.
Like totally.
I tell Alan all the time he's in interviews and he does so good in interviews. But he says a lot. And he's like, did I say a lot? And I said, yeah, kind of. But yeah. Anyway,
who's counting besides us?
We lived on Knockawilla Mountain.
Okay.
When he got his job at Collinsville. Moved from Silicaga to there. And we lived there for 12 years. And he did Collinsville, and then he was in Winterboro at Talladega County for 6 or 7 years.
Woof.
I know.
So he hoofed it.
Yes, it was like an hour and 15-minute drive one way. And we did not move, though. We stayed because, just trying to keep the kids where they were at, and we loved it here.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the opportunity. We wanted to be in Southside, and he was still at Winterboro at the time, and we got the opportunity to buy a house there, and we did. And then a position came open at Gadsden City. And that's where the kids go to school. And we're like, it'll put you closer.
Right.
But he had to come down from head coach to assistant coach.
Right. It's a culture shock.
That's not easy to do that. And, but he did for our family. And so he was there last year. And then this came open, and everybody said, y'all come to Cedar Bluff? No, we have a family, and we want to just keep, I don't want to move all the time.
I get that.
And he's willing to drive.
Well, and you can't beat that with a stick, because, like, our kid's a first grader. Mm-hmm. She started out, like, we put her in the pre-K lottery in Cherokee County, because that's where we're from. And she didn't make it anywhere except for like a satellite pre-K.
Yeah, it's not the same.
And like my aunt's at the board, and she was like, it's a good one. And then total God thing, Piedmont calls, because I went ahead and put her in there because my dad coaches at Piedmont, and I was like, it's 20 minutes. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's worth it. It's worth it. She was the first name out of the hat. So I was like, okay, God, I see you. So we sent her on to pre-K at Piedmont. She had a fantastic pre-K teacher, Julie Reeves. Shout out, Boo. Love Julie. And then, like, it was one of those where she loved it. And I had to move my first grade year because before my dad was a coach and my parents were still figuring it out, they were they worked at like a factory. Like they were so James Blanchard got a job in Talladega, so I moved my first grade year to R.L. Young.
You've been in Talladega County too.
I have, and let me tell you, no offense, Talladega County, but I was in misery. Mm-hmm. I was a Cherokee County baby, and
it's a different world.
It really is, and I was just a nameless, faceless kid there. I just got thrown into their system, and then we moved back my second grade year. So I didn't want to do that to my kid. Like that was always my number one thing. It's like I wanted our kid to have like from the ground up. Because like when I transferred to Piedmont my junior year, like all those kids had been together, like they're like, oh my gosh, look, it's us in kindergarten.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, like y'all are cool. Like, and they were great. Like Piedmont was probably one of the most welcoming cultures I've ever been in my entire life. I'll forever, like I'm split because like I love Center, I love Piedmont, like I love Piedmont. So then my kid did kindergarten at Piedmont, and then this year, like COVID made kindergarten really hard. But then now for the second round of Delta variant.
Yes.
Now we're going to stop saying COVID and we're going to start saying Delta variant. It was one of those where my mother was like, listen, Pace's mom is at center. Your aunt's at center. Your cousin's at center. I'm at center. You work in center. Your dad has to be at school at 6:45. Please, for the love of God, consider center. I forgot how much I love center. I forgot. But I love it too. So, I get that. And now, Pacey's, now we're like, are we going to live in Tuscaloosa next year? Are we going to live? And I have settled, I've decided, we've both agreed that, we like Southside. I love the area.
Southside. I love Southside. You feel like you're out a little bit, but just not too far to get into town.
Yes.
And the people are great. Everybody just waves, and it's one of those where you're driving down the road and they throw a hand up and you're like, I don't know who you are, but okay.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
It's one of those for us where it's far enough away, we moved away.
Yeah.
But it's close enough to where hey, kind of need some help. I'm in the middle of a mental breakdown. Could you hold our kid for a minute? And it's,
Yeah.
So, and the community is great. And we found a home church in Asheville. So it's one of those where we both are kind of like, let's see if we can live in Southside. Yes. And so that's kind of our goal now. But we'll stay in center if we need to. Whatever. God has a plan.
Yes.
We'll roll with it. We will roll with it. Because, if you don't roll with the big guy's plans, things start getting smited.
It does.
They start getting disheveled.
That's true.
So, now I want to know how Coach proposed to you, or Alan, excuse me, how Alan, can I call him Alan Jackson?
No.
Okay, fine, I won't. Just Alan. You're like, no. Okay, so Alan proposed to you. He locked you in. He convinced you to stay with him. How?
It's an embarrassing
You're like,
story.
oh my gosh, how?
Okay, it was Valentine's.
Oh, sorry.
And we had went out to eat.
Where'd you go? This is important. Guys, make the reservations.
Just the steakhouse that used to Logan's.
Okay.
I think. I could be wrong. I think Logan's. I can't remember.
It meant a lot.
That's bad.
It
meant a whole lot. So went out to eat, and we pulled back up wherever we were at. I don't even remember. And he said we were sitting in the car, and he said, he said, it's a good thing that you were nice tonight. Do you want this?
Do you want this? Diamond, no thanks.
I'm like, this is the best purpose.
Did you come up with that yourself?
And I said, and in my head I was like, thank goodness I didn't say anything smart aleck or anything. Because I have a very smart mouth.
Oh, spirit animal.
Yeah, it comes out before I realize it. And I've tried for years to tame that, but it doesn't work. So it is who I am.
Do text messages get you in trouble? Because
They
sometimes
can.
I feel like I'll say something and people take it not the way I meant it.
Right.
Like I was trying to be like, that was me being really kind. Or like sometimes I'll think about things like conversations and people like walked upon, oh, you're busy. I'm like, yeah. And it's not like a mean thing. It's like I was busy. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah.
Okay, you get it.
I do.
You get it.
So anyway, that was it. There was no need. There was no need. I hate to say that it wasn't. It was romantic and
in its own way.
Its own way. But it was okay with me. I was okay with it.
If you took it, that was...
I'm not, tradition and all that stuff is great and romance, but
romance
we were
makes me
older
uncomfortable.
and I just was like, it was fun.
How old were you? You keep saying older.
I don't remember.
Like, you're not old right now.
Hang on, 2008.
I was 18 when you got engaged.
30 or so, 20.
Oh, so you were
28 or so.
Okay.
But he's 8 years older than me.
Ooh.
So he was creeping up on that, been a bachelor too long type thing.
Whoa. Whoa.
So that's why I say older. Past 25.
I have a friend who only would, like, if they were not at least 10 years older than her, Jill wouldn't even, and I don't mind calling her out, because, she loves it deep down. But she wouldn't talk to him. Like, she'd be
Really?
like, oh, no, you're too young for me. And people would, take it and they'd be like, what are you going to too young for you? Like, I'm X amount of it. And she'd be like, oh, no, you're 10 years older or higher. Worked for her.
Well, Alan was much younger than his age, just in his personality, how active he was and everything he wanted to go do. So it really wasn't, it didn't seem like it was that much difference.
Was he coaching when you guys met?
Yes.
And what were you doing?
I'm a nurse.
Oh, you're a nurse?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boo.
And I had never been in...
I didn't mean oh, boo. I mean, like, bless you.
Well, I have a really good job right now, though. I work from home.
Oh!
Yeah, so I don't have to go in and...
Whisper that in my ear. How did you get that one?
I worked really hard.
I don't like that.
It wasn't given to me.
I don't like that.
But, what were we talking about? What were we saying?
Oh, Alan's proposal, what he was doing when you...
Oh, I had never been in the coaching world.
Right.
Ever. I was in, I grew up in Homewood in Birmingham.
Okay.
And I was like a color guard in the band. So, I'd done Friday nights and everything, but not on the sports end of it.
Right. You weren't behind the sidelines, technically. You were...
So, yeah.
You were rooting.
And he was assistant coach at Silicon at that time, but we were dating. So, I didn't go to any of the games. I didn't know how important it was. I didn't know anything. So, until he took the job at Collinsville, and I didn't even know he had applied. And he comes to tell me, I'm going to take this job. And I'm like, what's going to happen with me? We're not married. We were just dating.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, was it over? what's going to happen? And anyway, it put him on the spot, which he doesn't like to be on the spot. But it put him on the spot. And push came to shove, and we got married and moved up here. And so that's when I became a head coach's wife.
The rest has been history.
Yes.
I get that. I get that. We got married. I married Pacey Sunday. I don't know when this is going to come out. Sorry. So, I've been married for 11 minutes. Stayed Wednesday?
I think so.
So I got married Sunday. So it's been 3 days?
Mm-hmm.
If that.
And some change.
Yeah, some hours. There's some hours in there. And it was literally my dad looked at me and was like, you're going to need to go and do it. Because, football season, don't be messing with football season. And so it was a spur of the moment, let's do it. And now it's nothing has really changed for us.
No.
Except for the fact that, now it's one of those, okay, you need to hurry up and find, a career. And we need to know where we're going to live. And I'm going to need, a house and a new car. I'm going to need a new car. It's one of those, nothing's changed, but then I have just enough of, I have to control everything in me to be well, now I have to control all of what's our plan? I need it right now. So,
I may need to give you some advice.
Well, we eloped to a church because it felt appropriate. Because we both were kind of no interest in it, and then we got into it, and then we love our church now. And so it was just one of those, it was the most perfect thing for us ever. But yeah, it was I literally eloped to a church. You did something cooler than that.
We eloped to Colorado, yes.
And
we decided we were going to go out there and get married. Neither one of us wanted a big ceremony or a bunch of other people around or anything. I don't have a huge family. He doesn't have a huge family. So we went out there and we had no plans. We didn't set up anything in advance. I didn't have a wedding dress. I wore blue jeans when we got married.
Oh.
So we went.
Did my first marriage. I'm on number 2.
Good for you.
Thanks. It's a race. I plan on dying 6.
Marathon.
Run.
So we went out there and we went and stayed at a little bed and breakfast, and we stayed in a town that didn't even have a red light, it was a beautiful place. So we drove to the next town, which was called Salada, and we were walking around this little town, and we went into the first church. I'm Episcopalian. So we went to the Episcopal church, and we couldn't find a priest. So he's Methodist. He was Methodist. He's Episcopalian now, but he was Methodist. And so we went to the Methodist church, and we sat down to talk with the preacher, and we were talking about it, and he's like, I'm sorry, I just can't marry you because I had a bad experience with marrying a couple that just came to me just out of the blue to get married, and, it didn't turn out really good, and I started crying. I was like, have any other option. This is what.
Oh,
What? Are you serious?
okay. I'm getting anxiety just so I didn't know.
I was crying, and I guess it worked because he said, "Okay, I will do it." And so it was just the preacher and Alan and I. Oh, first he said, "Come back at a certain time." I don't even remember what time it was. So we went and hiked a mountain that was there. That was a popular place to hike.
Right.
We came back down. We had lunch. We went to the church. We went in there. Choir was having practice somewhere because I could hear them. And it was just Alan and I and the preacher, and we got married. And I had on, I think I did have on a white shirt, but I had on blue jeans and tennis shoes. And it was great. We did that, and we just went off and, spent the rest of the week in Colorado. We had a great time.
That's awesome.
Honeymoon and marriage all at the same time.
See, I love that because we didn't have a honeymoon. Like, it was literally like we got married on Sunday.
Right.
Our pastor fit us in between Sunday morning services and a prayer walk, like through Southside schools. And so it was one of those, like, we love Pastor Shane and Miss Misty. I mean, like, and it was literally like me sitting in the bathroom floor of the church getting ready after, like, Josh Abercrombie, he's going to edit this, he's my bestie. So, like, I called him and I was like, "Can I use your bathroom to get ready?" And he was like, "Yeah." So I had my cousin Emma met me there. She did my hair, she did my makeup. Then, thank God for Blaine Bradley, Nomadic, shout out, all the things. He sent his wife to the Rail Public House here in Gadsden to take pictures. Pacey's aunt is a seamstress, so, like, she fixed my dress, like, on the fly because, like, when I bought it, it was screaming for life, like, 2 years ago. And then I kind of, like, hit the gym. So, like, she had to, like, tack things in. So,
That's always good.
Yeah, it's a good problem to
You didn't
have.
have to let it out, so that's good.
But God, I just really wish that I'd gotten the boob job sooner. I was just like, I didn't have one. I need one though. Yeah, LOL. So it's really funny in bathing suit season. Thanks, Pace. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm calling him out right now. Like, if you're gonna be a doctor, like, back it up. I'm kidding.
Oh my.
I love to give him a hard time. That's what I'm do. But yeah, so, like, Blaine's and his wife, she took bridal shots. My cousin Emma can do anything, so she did hair, makeup. She took pictures on the fly, and, like, we were literally, like, fit in, and they're like, "Oh, we'll just reroute Bible studies. Like, we'll tell them not to come to the sanctuary." I mean, it was like 30 minutes before showtime, and they're like, "What do you want on the background of the screens?" And I'm like, "Oh, screens!" Like, if my sister hadn't made flowers, like, the night before, I would have been up the creek.
But
so,
you know what? At the end of the day, we're all just married. We have the same marriage certificate.
But it's such a fun story, though.
Yes, it is. And,
it really is a fun story. Like, one day we'll look back and be like,
you didn't lose a lot of money.
Well, not yet. It's come. We already had a venue.
Okay.
Purchased, and football season, because you get football season trumps everything.
Oh, yeah.
And COVID ruined it. Like, when we booked our venue, my brother was supposed to be graduated. He goes to West Alabama. My brother's an idiot. Not because he goes to West Alabama, just in general.
You're so sweet.
He's one of my favorite people in the world. But yeah, so, like, when we booked our venue, he was supposed to be, like, graduated and done with football. Then COVID, the C word that everyone uses, and not even, that's the C word now, COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So I call people a COVID.
I don't know what the C word was before, but
it's just COVID now.
Yeah.
COVID. And so, like, when we booked our venue, we thought he was going to be out, and then he wasn't. His furthest away game was on our wedding date, so we were just like, hey, you know what? Just knock it out. Because when you start looking at life as things that need to be knocked out,
yes,
it's just,
you
have more fun, kind of.
Yeah. So, like, you knew you couldn't get married during football season.
Right.
And I got pregnant, and the baby was due in November. The first part of November.
The anxiety.
That's definitely not, like, you're not in the playoffs yet. You're in regular games.
Right. You're still jockeying
it
for
was,
position.
Yes. And it was our last child. And I was going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Well, I didn't know that what day I would have him on yet.
Right.
Which I had to have a C-section. I had to have a planned C-section. So I didn't know. Well, then it gets close to time.
Look, I'm sweating for you. Like, I'm sweating on your behalf, and this is already done. And I'm sweating. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh.
It gets up on the time to schedule the C-section. And my doctor said, I only do them on Fridays.
Ah!
And I said, no, we can't do that. My husband coaches high school football. We have a game. We can't. And I was having him in Birmingham. And Alan was at Winterboro at this time.
Whew.
So I said, no. She said, well, if you want to do it a different day, that's fine, but you'll have to have an on-call doctor. It won't be me. I only do it on Fridays. And I'm going, oh my gosh.
Rude.
So I asked Alan, I was like, what are we going to do? He said, well, you're going to have the baby. I'll just miss the game. I said, you're not going to miss the game. You're the head coach. You're not going to miss the game.
Oh, I'm
So
have goosebumps. I'm bothered.
thank goodness it was not my first child. So I was, versed in what we were doing and everything. So we were at the hospital at 6 a.m.
I'm holding on to Bo's oven like it's going to save. It's going to change the outcome. He's going to be there.
We went in and had the C-section, had the baby. Alan was there, and he stayed till about 11 o'clock because game night is not like the coach shows up at 7 o'clock and you start the game. Mm-hmm. It starts very early in the day. Yeah. And there is right after school, you've got pep rallies, and then right after school, they go and have a team meal, and then they have to go and they have their downtime, and, then they have to have their warm-ups. It's not just show up at 7 o'clock. So he stayed until about 11 or 12, and I said, go. Please go. I said, this is very important. I said, I know how to take care of this baby. All these nurses are around me. We're fine. We're going to be okay. Please go be with the boys. It was important to me. And so he went. He coached a game. I don't know if they won or lost. I really don't even remember. And then he drove back to Birmingham that night after the ball game and stayed with me.
Such a coach's wife, though, because I'd be like, just go. Go.
If you
go, it's important. It's important. And then I'd be like, I can't believe you left me at the hospital.
No.
All I had was nurses. I don't even know those people. I would.
No.
You have the coach's wife part.
It's important. It's very important. And, see, I am on the sideline with him on Friday nights.
Oh, my gosh.
The first year, I sat in the stands.
Okay, pause.
Okay.
This is the first time in history I've ever heard of that.
Really?
I'm obsessed now.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Okay, continue.
Okay, so the first year, I sat in the stands. And I can't tell you how many times I heard, just hit somebody. And what is he doing? And why is he doing that? And do this and do that. And I can't stand to hear all that. Well, we were at Collinsville, and I'm a nurse. And it was either listening to those people out there, or a player would get hurt, and they didn't always have a trainer. 1A schools don't always get trainers every Friday night. And I would hear from the sideline, Amanda! And that was him calling me to come check on a player.
So you expedited it.
The next year, I just said, I love this. And I loved it. I loved being out there. I loved the boys. I loved the excitement. And I like taking care of people. And I packed my little bag with bandages and supplies. And I've been on the sideline every Friday night since then, except for last year at Gadsden City, because they're huge. They always have people there.
They had a trainer.
But when he was offered, going to take this show, I said yes, and I'm back on the sideline. I just love it. I do. I love it. And I do water, or I take care of people, whatever needs to be done. I mean, a trainer can be there, and that's fine. But sometimes there's a lot of things going on. So,
That is awesome.
I love it.
That's so cool. So look at this. This coach comes with a literal personal trainer.
That's right.
So, sorry guys, he already has a job. He didn't like it there. So, you missed your shot, okay? You should have shot your shot sooner.
And I don't have to hear any of the stuff in the stands.
That is when you said that, that is one thing that I tend to harp on as a coach's kid and having friends that are coaches, it drives me crazy because here's the thing. If you think you can do a better job, that's great. You probably, really and truly, we'd love to see you shoot your shot. So go to school.
I say the exact same thing.
Put in the time and find a program that's dumb enough to hire you.
Right. I say the same thing, if you were that good at calling plays, you would be the one out there. And you have no idea what he has gone through and done or what he has planned. And then there's just, these are kids.
Yes.
They're not always going to execute. He might have the best play ever, and it may not get executed right. Is that his fault? No. Is it the kid's fault? Not necessarily. They're kids, and you're in the middle of a game, and I can't imagine, trying to think that fast. I really can't.
That's...
So I can't stand to hear people say that. And plus, and then I want to say, hey, he spends more time with your kid than he spends with his kids.
And he spends more time with your kid than you spend with your kid.
And he puts a lot into them. So I love being out there, and I don't have to listen to all of that.
It's a tough.
I've only got the scariest thing is when a play's coming towards you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm not the quickest. Somehow Alan always gets out of the way. I have no idea how he does that. He's got a very good sense for that.
He has a plan.
He does, and I'm not as great at it. And I did get hit one time. Well, I got cleated. I got a foot come at me on my shin, and I had a bruise this big.
Do you bruise easy?
For weeks. And I didn't tell Alan about it. He didn't even know it happened. I mean, it was during the game and everything. He didn't have a clue. He's not paying a bit of attention.
He wasn't checking on me.
He's not paying any attention to me unless he needs, like, somebody's hurt. So later that weekend, I said, look at this bruise. He's like, what happened? How'd you get that? I said, I got kicked.
I was attacked on the sideline by a cleat.
He's like, really? Okay. Yeah. But, it's all right. That's the name of the game, I guess.
So it's funny. Like, I had to ask that because, like, you have kind of like my skin tone-ish. And so it's that, like, you have to push me off a building for me to bruise.
Yeah.
So if I have a bruise, like, it's like a very painful, like, somebody tried to murder me. So I feel like that's probably what happened. Like, they were going for your shin. Like, they're like, look, that's the coach's wife. Put your shin in her shin.
It's just not easy to get out of the way.
It's, well,
Okay, you know how a football bounces. You don't know which way. I mean, it's not a round ball.
Yeah.
And it may go this way, it may go that way, it may go up, it may go down. Who knows where it's going to go? It's the same thing with a football play. You may see it coming towards you, and then all of a sudden it goes that way. Or it may be going over there, and you're fine, and the next thing you know, you're getting knocked out.
Yeah. Well, it was my first year on the sideline last year with Average Joes, and there were times that I'd be sitting there and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm about to die. Like, literal, like, I hope someone will take care of our child because I'm about to be pancaked.
But how fun is it?
Oh my gosh, you can't beat it.
No.
You can't beat it. So that, like, I love that you're on the sidelines. I think that's super cool. It's a totally new, I've never.
We'll have to wait till Alan gets here. There is a college coach's wife that is the water girl.
Oh!
And I can't remember. Sorry, Alan. I can't remember who it is. He tells me a lot of random facts.
Well, let me tell you.
And I can't remember them all.
If I was married to, like, Lane Kiffin, that little hottie, call me Lane. I'd be his water girl because I'd be like, oh, no. I'll handle it. Yeah. Kind of like I plan on being Pacey's secretary. Like, he'll never be able to hire a secretary. Like, what do you do? Oh, I'm my husband's secretary. I answer the phone, and if it's a lady, I tell them that he's not available.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm kidding. No, I really am. But, yeah, like, Lane Kiffin. I'd be Lane Kiffin's water girl today. Really? Lane doesn't do it for you?
No.
Me neither. Saban, would you be Saban's water girl?
Oh, gosh, no.
Okay, so
I mean, he's a great guy.
Okay.
But listen, we're Auburn fans.
Oh.
So, no. But Alan loves Saban. He's been to a lot of clinics, and he is a very good coach. He's an excellent coach. But anyway, you're not going to believe who I probably would say I would most go towards.
Okay.
Coach Ogeron.
Oh!
Oh, no.
I love his voice.
Yeah, I mean,
he's just big, and he's just manly, and he's just...
How would you know what he was saying? He'd be like...
Well, that may be okay.
And be like, I'll just say, okay, honey. Yeah, I mean, you know what, though? I can't say anything. I don't get to get on anyone's, like, celebrity case because my celebrity crush is Will Ferrell.
Oh, my God.
Whoa, now!
I think the interview's over.
All right, we're going to go ahead and call that a wrap. Thanks for coming, guys.
Really? Why? Because he's funny?
He's hilarious.
It's not the looks.
He's 6'4" of just pure hilariousness. We'd have the best time. And we would LOL so hard all the time.
I'm a Bradley Cooper and Matt Damon.
Oh, I can be Bradley. What's Matt Damon's like? He's like this tall, isn't he? He's little, isn't he? Or is that Brad Pitt? Oh, you are small.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. When you're my height, like, you can't, I mean, like, Pacey's 6'1", like, we're pushing it.
Well, Alan's not real tall either, so.
We joke because, now, he won't play the game of, like, if a celebrity were to call you, he's like, I'm not playing this game. It's going to get me in trouble. And I refuse to play. And I'm like, okay, well, mine's Will Ferrell. And he's like, that's fine. I'm not playing this game. But he's like, at least I know that Will Ferrell is, like he's got something I don't. Like there's something, like I could never be Will Ferrell because he's like, I'm not just like a big goofy oaf. And I'm like, that's a very fair assumption. And Alan, I mean, he doesn't know all this. So it kind of makes sense. I'll allow it. I mean, because I get to judge.
If we have to pick a coach, that's the one.
Okay, yeah, see, I'm going Lane. Because Lane looks like Tosh 0.0. No, you never. I'll show you later. How old are you? 30.
Okay, yeah.
You're like, how old are you? 11? Cool,
No.
great.
No. Okay, I got you.
Okay, so let's get back on track.
Yeah,
before
football.
Delogier's texting me when this comes out, and he's like, thanks, Tara.
Y'all never talked about football at all, hardly.
Ever. Well, I mean, we don't typically. We're more worried about you.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Because someone should be.
I'm just the coach's wife.
I mean, really and truly.
Who is that? That's just Coach Beckett's wife.
It's Coach Beckett's wife. What's her name?
I don't know.
Coach Beckett's wife. She has a name. We don't care.
No, it's okay.
But don't say like things too loud because like she'll turn around and she'll look at you.
Yeah, I might.
She'll get mad. So if you had to give one piece of advice to coaches' wives everywhere, what would you do? And I'm going to go ahead and say, like, we have run the gamut of love him more than anything in the world, like make his plate, to get yourself a toolbox because he ain't never going to be home. What's your piece of advice to give to coaches' wives coming in?
Well, you definitely, there's a lot of things, but you have to be flexible, very flexible. Do not count on your plans going as you thought it was going to.
Yeah.
You will never vacation in the fall, ever, or do anything else. Your friends will say, well, can you do this? No, we have a game. What? What are you talking about? And football does not just last in football season.
No.
It's year round. So he will be at the school, whether he's working on whatever the next thing's going to be, or they're doing workouts. People call me and say, well, where's Alan? Is he home yet? I'm like, no, he's at the school. Why? This will be February. And they'll be like, why is he not home? He's doing football. It's not football time. I'm like, yeah, I can't explain it to you, but I'm just telling you, that's just the way it is.
Though, like, I know you said that you don't have a big family.
No.
And he doesn't have a big family, so that makes it easier. But, like, my mother's family, like, they've never, until she married my dad, sports were not, like, a big thing. And then, like, her brother and sister went on to have kids who played sports and everything, so they kind of got, like, a taste of it. But, I mean, like, they're still, like, I can't believe that you're not coming to Thanksgiving. Like, well, hopefully we're in the playoffs.
Right.
So, like, if we don't have Thanksgiving, like, that's a great thing.
Right.
That's not a...
Exactly.
That's not like a, I can't believe you didn't come for dry turkey. That's they have a shot at state.
Yeah.
And people don't understand
No,
that.
they don't. They really don't. And that's okay. I mean, I try to explain it the best I can, but I've gotten used to it. And I am, now, is there times that I get frustrated?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Especially when I'm home and it's late and the kids are screaming and hollering. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a single parent. But
with no child support check.
no, exactly. But and teachers don't get paid a lot.
No, they do not.
But it's so worth it to see how he affects their lives. He's got players from 10 years ago that on Father's Day send him a Happy Father's Day.
Oh,
I mean, he cares. There's two different type of coaches. There's a coach that's there to win, and they're just worried about the game and winning and doing the best, and that's about it. And then there's a coach that cares about the kids and cares about them growing into good young men. And not just, I mean, you want them to play well, you want them to do well, but you also care about their life otherwise than just there with you. And that's Alan. And he really does. And he follows his players years, however many years after, and they follow him. I mean, his assistant coach right now was one of his players at Collinsville, Justin Little. He's devoted to Alan. Right. He's come because it means it takes up a lot of our time. We've housed a lot of kids.
Right.
We've bought a lot of Christmases, lunches, dinners, taken players to recruiting assignments. Alan has taken many players home, and he's not home until 10 or 11 o'clock at night because he's taking players home that don't have a ride. They don't have anybody. And even though that disrupts our life, in the end, it is so important that he changed theirs. Because we're grown.
Right.
We've already been there, and they need to be able to get where we're at. So, and for some of them, that's all they have to look at. So, I really, it's a good payoff. And it's a calling, for sure.
It really is. And you have the heart for it, too. And it's great to find duos who can do that. And it's, for you being a nurse, which when you get being a nurse and having to kind of put other people's needs ahead of yours.
Right.
So I feel like that's handy because it's not every career where you look around and you're like, oh, I should put these other people before me. Like
Right.
A lot of times it's like, no, I said dinner at 6:30. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's 7:42 right now.
You don't set a dinner time if you have
Right.
a coach or husband. But
You get used to it. So you, like you said, you're a single parent.
Yeah.
But there are kids that appreciate the mess out of you.
they are. And we, it was just a couple of weeks ago, he said, I want to have the football team over to our house.
Oh.
We just had a pool put in.
Yeah.
And I said, okay.
The football team in Toro.
All these high school boys, okay.
Oh, never mind.
And then I have to,
Didn't
I'm like, what's your plan for food? I don't know, it doesn't matter.
Hot dogs.
So it's on me, which is fine. I do enjoy entertaining. I said, how many do you think? Oh, 22, 25. And I went, oh, wow.
22, 47, I don't know.
22 high school boys at my house, and I need to feed them. They eat a lot. And I said, okay, well, all right. And so I took care of it, and we fed them all, and they had the best time ever. They'd been to a camp, and he just had the bus drive on over. And
So you had a bus in your driveway.
yes.
I know the neighbors were like, oh, look.
And all these boys
It's
out in
good.
the back, and they're picking each other up, throwing them in the pool and everything. But they were the best. They were so sweet and so kind, and they had a good time. Now, that wasn't our first time. He is, every year, he will have his seniors over to our house for a weekend, for like a team building weekend.
That's
before the football games start.
awesome.
And they stay the weekend, and I'm cooking 3 meals a day for these big
For
growing boys.
Senior boys.
And,
Woof.
it's fun. They enjoy it, and they love it. So,
And now how many kids do you have?
I have 2 with Alan.
2 that, and they're both boys?
No, girl and boy.
A girl and a boy?
6 and 8.
6. So like they're getting to have like big brothers.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we went and took pictures yesterday. They had their pictures for the program, and so, of course, we went to take the family picture.
Mm-hmm.
And Fletcher's 6, and he's made really good friends with one of the players, Bucky. And so he's there, and they're taking pictures, and Fletcher's posing, and Bucky's posing, and it was so cute. So
You can't help but love it.
no, it's good. It's good.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. And I love you, not in a weird way, but this has been so much fun.
Yes.
You're like, I'm wildly uncomfortable now.
No, I'm not. It's okay.
No.
Everybody loves me.
They just can't. Just because I'm awesome. So it's just kind of like a normal, like it's like a Wednesday for me. But, well, I appreciate you coming.
Sure.
And we're going to have to sit down again.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe in the playoffs when y'all go.
Oh gosh,
Not
so.
jinxing, but like
Yeah,
let's do it.
well,
Like I'd love to see it though.
It would be great.
As you know, Cherokee County, I'd love to see it.
It'd be great. We've been to several playoff games, so it's been nice.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it this year, and then we'll go to Waffle House.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Well, you guys, this has just been another episode of Friday Night Wives. I know everyone's been waiting on bated breath for us to come back, and now we are. So for all of your insurance needs, call Michael Delosier. He will be the handsome bald guy on either side of the screen in the suit. And he does cars, boats, life, sheds. I mean, like if you can insure it, Delosier does it. So check him out. Thanks, guys.